Believe you can and you're halfway there. Do what you can, with what you have, where you are. Nobody cares how much you know, until they know how much you care. Keep your eyes on the stars, and your feet on the ground. In any moment of decision, the best thing you can do is the right thing, the next best thing is the wrong thing, and the worst thing you can do is nothing. No man is above the law and no man is below it, nor do we ask any man's permission when we ask him to obey it. Far and away the best prize that life has to offer is the chance to work hard at work worth doing. Far better is it to dare mighty things, to win glorious triumphs, even though checkered by failure, than to rank with those poor spirits who neither enjoy nor suffer much, because they live in a great twilight that knows not victory nor defeat. To educate a man in mind and not in morals is to educate a menace to society. With self-discipline most anything is possible. The most important single ingredient in the formula of success is knowing how to get along with people. It is hard to fail, but it is worse never to have tried to succeed. It is only through labor and painful effort, by grim energy and resolute courage, that we move on to better things. A man who has never gone to school may steal from a freight car, but if he has a university education, he may steal the whole railroad. A vote is like a rifle, its usefulness depends upon the character of the user. The boy who is going to make a great man must not make up his mind merely to overcome 1,000 obstacles, but to win in spite of 1,000 repulses and defeats. Courtesy is as much a mark of a gentleman as courage. When you are asked if you can do a job, tell him, "Certainly I can." Then get busy and find out how to do it. Character, in the long run, is the decisive factor in the life of an individual and of nations alike. Old age is like everything else. To make a success of it, you've got to start young. Never throughout history has a man who lived a life of ease left a name worth remembering. The first requisite of a good citizen in this republic of ours is that he shall be able and willing to pull his own weight. The only time you really live fully is from 30 to 60. The young are slaves to dreams, the old servants of regrets. Only the middle-aged have all their 5 senses in the keeping of their wits. Order without liberty and liberty without order are equally destructive. The best executive is one who has sense enough to pick good people to do what he wants done, and self-restraint enough to keep from meddling with them while they do it. The things that will destroy America are prosperity at any price, peace at any price, safety first instead of duty first, the love of soft living, and the get-rich-quick theory of life. Great thoughts speak only to the thoughtful mind, but great actions speak to all mankind. Behind the ostensible government sits enthroned an invisible government owing no allegiance and acknowledging no responsibility to the people. If there is not the war, you don't get the great general. If there is not a great occasion, you don't get a great statesman. If Lincoln had lived in a time of peace, no one would have known his name. The reactionary is always willing to take a progressive attitude on any issue that is dead. I care not what others think of what I do, but I care very much about what I think of what I do. That is character. Rhetoric is a poor substitute for action, and we have trusted only to rhetoric. If we are really to be a great nation, we must not merely talk, we must act big. 9/10 of wisdom is being wise in time. I think there is only one quality worse than hardness of heart, and that is softness of head. Some men can live up to their loftiest ideals without ever going higher than abasement. It behooves every man to remember that the work of the critic is of altogether secondary importance, and that, in the end, progress is accomplished by the man who does things. I don't pity any man who does hard work worth doing. I admire him. I pity the creature who does not work, at whichever end of the social scale he may regard himself as being. I am only an average man, but, by George, I work harder at it than the average man. The most successful politician is he who says what the people are thinking most often in the loudest voice. Probably the greatest harm done by vast wealth is the harm that we of moderate means do ourselves when we let the vices of envy and hatred enter deep into our own natures. No great intellectual thing was ever done by great effort. Freedom from effort in the present merely means that there has been effort stored up in the past. The pacifist is as surely a traitor to his country and to humanity as is the most brutal wrongdoer. No people is wholly civilized where a distinction is drawn between stealing an office and stealing a purse. No man is justified in doing evil on the ground of expedience. I wish to preach, not the doctrine of ignominies, but the doctrine of the strenuous life. It is essential that there should be organization of labor. This is an era of organization. Capital organizes and therefore labor must organize. For unflagging interest and enjoyment, a household of children, if things go reasonably well, certainly all other forms of success and achievement lose their importance by comparison. The human body has two ends on it, one to create with and one to sit on. Sometimes people get their ends reversed. When this happens they need a kick in the seat of the pants. It is difficult to make our material condition better by the best law, but it is easy enough to ruin it by bad laws.